I told you about 3 times you won't fucking with me, right? Umbrella. I'ma run it up and up and up. 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 Big brella grind until I build it up. Shawty poppin' purpose like it's Eminem. Sliding through your city, you gon' live and learn. She gon' let me fuck cause I'm a living legend.
It's the original Eminent Sports Broadcasting, and we back again. 2023, end of the year edition. We're gonna talk about it, man. We're gonna break down the entire year. Performance of the year, fight of the year, KO of the year. And we're going to look forward to 2024. We're going to recap this year and see if it was worthy of us. Let me bring in my co-host so he can give a little insight and his opinion on how he felt about the year of 2023.
It's your boy Loso, Classick and Los, back in the building. Year 2023, one of the best boxing years we done had in the 2020s. Nothing but great fights.
Yes, sir.
Been
yes,
moving
sir.
the boxing game back forward, putting it back in its proper place, proper position. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Giving us the fight. Been getting a lot of Ali vibes, you know what I mean? With the best fighting the best. Matchups, the proper matchups is being made.
Yes.
And bro,
Definitely.
boxing. Great year boxing.
Let's take a look at this
2024.
Ensemble of fights that we've had for this year. Man, you look at this shit in its totality.
It's like wherever you put, you know it was a great year, no matter where you set your eyes at. Bro, it was a big fight. It was a big matchup. Look at Toronto. Hector Garcia. Good matchup. Joe Joyce for the big thing saying, move over. You got Davis Garcia. I look down. I got Foreman Inuit. I look a little bit to the right, further down. You got Spence Crawford. Go under that. Canelo Charlo. To the left, Haiti Programs. To the right, Benavidez Andre. You know what I mean? Go up, Taylor and Tio. You know? Go up. Come on, you got Benavidez Plant. You know what I mean? Go to the right, you got Haiti Loma. You know what I mean?
Amazing year.
You got Cameron.
You know the crazy shit
Cameron
is?
versus Taylor.
When you look at this is just the main events.
Just the main events.
Just the main events. This ain't the undercard and the co-main. And we've had a lot of good undercard fights. I mean, look, I just look right at the top. I see Matias versus Ponce, right? That was a main event fight on Showtime. But on one of the pay-per-view, one of the PBC pay-per-views, you had Matias versus Ergachev. That's not displayed here, and that was a good fight. Kind of ended the same way. Started the same as the Ponce fight, ended the same way. With him quitting on the stool. Great year of boxing, man. A lot of upsets. Not upsets in terms of like favorites getting knocked off. There was quite a few, but a lot of underwhelming fights. The most egregious of them all is, of course, the Errol Spence and the Crawford.
Bro, stop that. What are you talking about?
No, I mean, let down in terms of we didn't get the competition that we thought we were going to get. I'm not disappointed in the event. Everything was beautiful about the event. The build-up,
we just
promotion.
It's like, this is what the fight game is about. You want the two best, you want the best matched up against the best.
Yeah.
One guy on one coast, another guy on another coast. Everybody has a horse in the race. A lot of people felt like Earl was the best. A lot of people felt like Terrence was the best. They both felt like each other was the best. They matched up. Sometimes when you're fighting, you need a great adversary to bring out the best in, so you can put that best performance in, especially when you're so gifted. You know what I mean? You usually don't gotta crank. You usually ain't gotta turn it all the way up because you could beat these guys on cruise control.
Yeah.
So now, a dude like Terrence, Bud Crawford, you get in there with Earl. Great game plan. Been salivating trying to get this man. Been wanting to fight for a long time. When he got up in there, he just so happened to put on his A-class performance. Man. You know? Ain't nothing against Earl. It was just okay. He got that one. You know?
Yeah.
Can Earl come back? Can Earl make changes, come back with a new style, different way, and implement what he want to do? I think Earl made the mistake of coming and thinking he could do what he always do, and it was going to work against Bud. Nah, sometimes you got to switch it up. Now, I mean, in football, some games we're going to run the ball to win. Some games, hey, they got a good run defense, got a good D-line, got a good front seven. We got to beat them boys in the air. Sometimes we got to pass to open up the run. Sometimes we got to run to open up the pass. Sometimes it's just going to be a defensive game. We're going to run the rock. We're going to play ball control. We're not going to turn the ball over. We're going to let our defense, special teams field position, win us the game. You know what I mean? So in boxing, Earl thought he was just going to come in with a regular game plan and get it done against Bud, but Bud had something different in store. And that wasn't going to work. You know what I mean? And that's what he fucked up.
I hear you.
Talk to me, man. What we got? Where we at? Where we starting?
Yeah, even threw some women fights on there, man.
Mm-hmm.
You had Franchon Cruz versus Savannah Marshall, which I think was like one of the best performances of the year in terms of a woman fight, other than, you know what I mean, the Katie Taylor fight. I think Savannah Marshall displays like good boxing skills, you know what I mean? She bobs and weaves, she got head movement, you know what I'm saying? She moves her upper body, ain't just flailing punches and just throwing punches just to throw punches. Yeah, I mean, Franchon Cruz looked a little sloppy in that fight. I don't think she was in her best shape. But dominant performance. That was like my favorite women's fight of the year. I mean, of course, you had Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron. The first fight plus the rematch is played here as well. Amanda Serrano fought a couple times as well. You know what I mean? She showcased her talent. She looked good. But
I'm going for it.
Yeah, Canelo had 2 fights this year.
Mm-hmm.
Joshua had 3 fights this year.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Tszyu had 3 fights this year.
Mm-hmm.
Haney, in a fight of the year candidate, and then a performance of the year candidate.
Definitely. Fight of the year potential.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna both put our vote in, and we're gonna talk about and defend our reason for why we're picking said person for fight of the year, performance of the year, etc., etc.
Let's get it started. Yeah, where we start first?
We're gonna start first with KO of the year.
KO of the year.
I feel like it's nondescript. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really hold merit for, in terms of, it's not the most prestigious award for the year, but it's very impactful. It can move your career forward.
It's KO of the year, man. It's memorable.
It's memorable. It's probably more memorable than fight of the year, to be honest with you.
I don't know, because fight of the year kind of sticks in you. You watch great fights, it's what you talk about. So it's like a great game.
Yeah, facts.
Great fights
facts.
last. You know what I mean? That's
but
what
if I tell you who
10,
won fight of the year,
year,
if I told you who won fight of the year for 2022, could you, off the top of your head, probably not, right? You probably can't even tell me who won KO of the year for 2022. But the KOs, I think, stick with you.
Oh, KO of the year 2022. I'm going with when did Kayla fight Durrell? Is that 2022 or is that 2023?
That might have been 2022.
That was a great knockout, bro.
That was on the Wilder
The reason why
card,
I say it was a great Wilder reason,
Nah, that was 2023.
That was the main event.
23. Yeah. That was on the Wilder undercard.
Nah, that was the main event.
Huh?
That wasn't the main event?
No. It was co-main for Wilder and Hellenius.
Well, that goes to and look, see, that goes to Turkey because what you're saying is correct. Knockout really is do stick out because even though Wilder got rid of Hellenius in 45 seconds.
Should I look at all these fights right here, and I can remember exactly I could remember my moment when I seen this shit for the first time. When I seen the fight, when I seen the KO happen, when the person went to sleep, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The excitement, especially if you're watching the like let's say between all these fights, the Valenzuela Chris Colbert was a fight I saw live, so that exact moment was very impactful. The Brian Mendoza and Sebastian Fondora was a fight that I seen live, that was very impactful. The Tank and Ryan Garcia fight I saw live, very impactful. The Zhang fight is a fight that I saw on my phone while driving from work. So I seen that one live, impactful, you know what I mean? When it was over, but I was kind of expecting that one. That one didn't really shock me. The Colbert one and the Mendoza one shocked me.
Yeah, that Colbert one was crazy because Venezuela jumped on his ass early.
And then with all that shit that he was talking, and then to go out like that, where he specified in the bet when he was betting with him, yo, if you KO me, I'm gonna give you 50 grand.
Mm-hmm. Venezuela being the gentleman that he is, man, don't worry about that. Ain't gonna take you, man. It's the holidays, man. You gotta buy Christmas presents.
But out of all these knockouts, man, the most devastating. This is a fight that I didn't watch live, but I watched the fight after the fact. Was the Nakatani and Maloney fight? That's the one I sent you earlier today. Remember?
Yeah, I thought it was crazy. The way he fell.
That shit was abrupt. And he laid there for a minute.
Knockouts. I like me being a, you know what I mean, a coach myself.
Yeah.
I like the technical knockouts. Like I said, so like for instance, the Caleb Durrell fight. I like that knockout so much because that's a combination you drill all the time, you know, or setup you drill all the time, I should say. Hook to the body, hook to the head. That Caleb did it perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Picture perfect. That's what you envision when you throw that body. Bring the arms down. Come back, hook to the head, drop. And that's especially with Caleb not being known as a knockout puncher. That knockout was beautiful.
Yeah.
You know?
Facts.
The Big Bang Zhang and Joyce. Zhang being a lefty. You know? That straight left is always is their bread and butter, just like the righty on the lefty, right? Throwing that straight right, that lead right. Bang. Threw that lead left. Boom. Then came back with that right hand. Bop. Crushed him. Picture perfect. Picture perfect. That's how you drill it. And boom. And he threw it like that's something that he drilled a million times.
And
dropped it.
He hit him flush with that one.
Flush, face plant, you know?
He like took a nap. He like curled up his arms and everything under his head and was like, yo, let me chill for a little bit.
No.
Chill for
Tank versus Ryan fight. You know, that left hand to the left.
Look at Ryan's face in the picture.
That's how you draw it up. And that's the reaction you get. It's usually a delayed reaction.
I think it was relaxed as fuck.
It's usually a delayed reaction. A lot of people felt like he quit. But that shot is devastating, especially when you got somebody who, like Tank, who hits as hard as he hits. And his timing is what it is. It's perfect. And his punch, that's what people don't talk about Tank enough is his punch placement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, like when he fought Leo, that Lee left uppercut, the force, the torque that he was able to get on that, and that pinpoint accuracy. Man, that is Tank's biggest strength. Not even his power, but his punch placement, bro. How he's able to land the shot, flush, accuracies on 100. You know what I mean? That's Tank's biggest attribute right there. That power is something, but man. The power ain't shit if you can't place it. You know? You can't land it where you need to land it.
Yeah.
So,
for me, the Sebastian Findor and the Brian Mendoza KO was very impactful for me because at that time Sebastian was looking like a problem. He's still a problem, but at that time he was looking like a problem. Like nobody was really gonna want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? Because of his awkwardness, his length, even though he doesn't really use the length, but he has the ability to. And he seems like he could take punches, like shots that he shouldn't be able to take. He takes them flush and he keeps going. And what he did to Lubin put him on a lot of people's list of fighters they did not want to see. And I'm telling you, when he was trying to go in between shots with Mendoza clipped him with that right and then came over the top with the left and put him down. And he looked like he was in chill mode on the floor. That shit was tough.
This is like a gift and a curse, man. It's like you gotta reward fighters like Fandora, because after that Lubin fight, he could have chilled. Dudes like Fandora, dudes like Tim Tszyu, who are in position, for the big fights, but say, yo, you know what? Nah, I'm not doing like a Cruz who's just sitting there waiting on the Tank fight. Nah, I'm fighting. I'm staying busy. Right? But that's what happens. That's what could happen in those instances, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, these guys are in position for the belt, for the big fight. But they choose, nah,
keep fighting.
I'm gonna stay busy, keep fighting. Dude like Tim Tszyu, you've been winning. Pandora ran across Mendoza. Boom, took it out. But you can't knock him for it. Gotta put him back in there because he deserved to be back in there.
That's what they fight for.
You know, because he's putting it on the line.
Yeah.
He's putting it on the line. And a dude like Fandora, he's gonna bounce back. You know?
Yeah.
That boy had Lupin looking like. That boy had Lupin looking like more for Tommy Hearns, man.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Yeah, I mean, Lubin looked good in his last fight. A lot of people, that don't know how to score fights, is trying to say that he lost or whatever, but we already know.
Yeah, it was a close fight, but look how Fandora did it.
So what's your vote for KO of the year?
KO of the year.
And defend yourself.
I'm gonna go with tough one. I'm gonna go with. I think I have to go with Big Bang Georgia.
Big Bang Zhang is Los's choice for KO of the year. And tell me why.
Like I said earlier, man, just the two-piece he hit him with. Straight left, right hook. Blasted him. Perfect. I mean, that's how you drill it. Landed it. Face planted Joe Joyce. And Joe Joyce had a lot of momentum at that time. Even after the first loss, Joe Joyce was still looked at like as one of those dudes. Feel me? And Big Bang showed it wasn't no fluke. Beat him in even faster time. Knockout. Crushed him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That knockout was devastating right there. You know, Venezuela put Colbert to sleep. When you asked me earlier, I said Venezuela, right? Put Colbert to sleep. But you put in the optics.
Yeah, you did
You
say
know what I mean? The
Venezuela.
bet and all that. It was a rematch. Both of these fights are rematches. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I think the Big Bang versus Joyce was. I don't know. They both were devastating. Kobe was out sleep. He was sleep. Think if you were ringside, you could hear him snoring. Out cold. But I'm gonna give it a Big Bang.
All right, so
And the reason why I'm gonna give it a Big Bang, because Joyce, Colbert has been touched. You know what I mean? Has been dropped several times already.
Yeah.
So he was a little bit chinny, but Joyce not so much. Right?
Remember, Joyce just got stopped by Zhang in the previous fight, right before this.
Right, that's Zhang.
Yeah. So he basically did the same thing he did in the first fight.
Right, but
the first fight was like a referee stoppage with the eye. They were like, "Oh, the eye is too fucked up. You can't continue." All right,
yeah,
so
but it wasn't
I'm gonna
Kobe had been dropped before.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you my second before I tell you my first. Is the Zhang in the Joyce. That would be my second. And the reason why it'd be my second is because it's in the heavy. It should be the first. Because it's in the heavyweight division. A lot on the line. Joyce was in line for a title just the same way how Fondor was in line for a title. And he was able to eclipse this guy and take the momentum away from him in back-to-back fights. So he wasn't able to restore his position as one of the mandatory challengers for the heavyweight crown. So, you know what I mean? That shit put a lot of pressure on the rest of the division because now he's in a mandatory position, right? Mm-hmm. I think Hergeshev is next, and then Zhang will be right after that in terms of mandatories. But nobody wants to fight this dude, bruh. To fight him is borderline unfair.
Can you blame him?
This man is like fucking 260 pounds.
No, it was 285, 290.
Fucking big as fuck. I've never seen him hurt. You know what I'm saying? He has good fundamentals. You know what I mean? He has a good jab. He has good placement when he throws his punches. Accurate as fuck. And you can't hurt him, bruh. But I gotta go with Tank versus Ryan Garcia, man.
What?
I gotta go with Tank and Garcia.
Why?
Because of the stage. Because of the stage. I walked into work the next day, and that's all everybody wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
All these other fights happened. All these knockouts happened. And nobody wanted to talk about it. Nobody knew it happened. Beforehand, after the fight, everybody was talking about this fight. Biggest pay-per-view of the year. Had all the eyes were on it. The odds were not even that you know what I mean, that far apart. Mm-hmm. Ryan Garcia talked the fight up, built the fight up, and Tank came in and closed the show. Caught him with a hook, caught him with a straight left, knocked him down.
It was kind of like how the Southwest 30 left hand. It was kind of like it was half hook, half straight.
Yeah.
Right to the spot. Perfect placement. And caught him in between the shot. Those are the worst. When you're throwing a punch
shot
and you get hit, especially to the body.
Yeah.
Usually when somebody throws a body shot, you can see it, you can brace, and you can take it. I mean, you can take a bat to the stomach if you see it coming, you know. But man, when you're throwing a punch, you get hit, and you're not expecting to get hit to that body, Oh, good. That punch is devastating.
Facts. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next topic, and the next one will be performance of the year. Performance of the year, my brother.
Got a couple on there.
You got Devin the Dream Haney versus Regis Prograis, Ron Ennis versus Roman Villa, Terrence Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence,
Yes, sir.
Monster Inoue versus Stephen Fulton,
Yes, sir.
David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade,
Yes, sir.
Devonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia, Bam Rodriguez versus Sonny Edwards, The Predator, Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury. And mind you, I put this on the list not because I thought Francis won, because when I scored it, I had Fury winning the fight. But it's just the fact that Francis made it a fight. Francis didn't get slept, didn't even really get hurt, and was in the fight and had a lot of people talking about he won the fight, even though we know that's BS. And Teofimo Lopez, Josh Taylor. Man, these were all dominant performances except for the Ngannou one. I just threw it up there just because, like, it is a performance. It deserves to be up there with performance of the year because a lot of people were expecting him to get knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what happened. That's far from what happened. You can see what happened in that little still frame right there. But let's talk about it, man. Let's start from the top. Top left, Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis.
I mean, that Devin fight was a great. It was a masterclass. It was the best
Masterclass.
boxing performance of the year right there. I give it to a man that put it all together. That performance was the Devin Haney that we all been expecting to see, waiting to see right there. You know, Devin came up, started his YouTube sensation. You know what I mean? When I say that, it's because, you know, when he jumped on the scene, he was dropping all the YouTube videos, he was sparring, putting in work, sparring a lot of the best young fighters in the game right now, you know?
Yeah.
And, he had been weight draining himself, sucking himself dry, trying to make the biggest fights possible. You know what I mean? Trying to fight for legacy, trying to become undisputed, and he achieved that. You know? But he was doing himself a disservice, staying at 35 for so long. Once he moved up to 40, he was more healthy, and he did everything he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
He told Regis he was going to beat the fuck out of him. He was levels above him, and that's what he showed. It was a great performance. Slide over to the right.
Monster Inoue, Stephen Fulton.
Versus Fulton.
That fight right there, man, like, I didn't know who was going to win that fight. Like, Monster Inoue has tremendous speed, tremendous skills, you know what I mean? Coming up from lower weight classes. And I thought Stephen Fulton was the goods. He probably still is the goods. It's just that Monster Inoue might be that one of those generational fighters. The beating that he put on Stephen Fulton. I mean, like after the first round. No, I'm lying. After the second round, I knew it was a wrap. Like the first round, Stephen Fulton was there. You know what I'm saying? But like when I saw the speed discrepancy between the two fighters, I was like, there's no way this nigga's not gonna get caught, bruh, with shots he's not gonna be seeing and he's gonna be getting hurt. This motherfucker's speed and accuracy is insane.
Yes, he's like Tank. You know what I mean? Where
he made Stephen Fulton look like he was
crazy. His power is crazy.
You would have thought he was the fucking unified champion during that fight. You know what I mean?
It's a great performance. It's a great fight.
I mean, We'll slide over to Tank. We don't even got to really talk about that one because, you know what I mean? Everybody and their mama knows about that fight. We'll slide on down to Fury and Ngannou.
That was a very impressive performance. Like I said, when I watched the fight, I watched it live. And I was telling you, were calling me, you asked me, man, what's going on? What's happening?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I don't know what's happening. Like, man, I don't know what the fuck is happening. Fury should be beating this dude's ass, but he's not. You know? He's not.
I remember I told you I had to get to a TV to watch it so I could put pen to paper because
Francis dropped him, as we can see. You know, it wasn't a lot of action going on. They were doing a lot of staring at each other.
yeah,
You know, but it was like, man, this dude fighting Tyson Fury. One of the best pound for pound fighters in the world, best heavyweight in the world. Francis, MMA champion, UFC champion. Big power punching motherfucker. You know what I mean? They say he's the hardest hitter, hardest puncher in the world right now. And he showed it, man. He connected on Fury and dropped him. You know, for his first boxing fight going against an elite boxer, you know?
yeah,
It was very impressive. He deserves this fight that is rumored to be already a done deal against Anthony Joshua. You know, with that performance, man. He deserves to back down that. Get another 10, 20.
He's gonna start his boxing career 0-2.
That's fine. He's also gonna start at about $25, $35 million richer. You know?
That's what it's about at the end of the day.
That's what it's about. At the end of the day, he could go 0-5 after pro boxing. Hey man, he's a heavyweight champion season. So his legacy is stamped. You know what I mean? Like, whatever happens in boxing, he's still going down as one of the best heavyweights ever to do it in the UFC. You know? So now he's just getting paid.
When I watched that fight, I mean, I saw Tyson Fury very jittery. He was very slow to want to engage because he didn't know what to expect with Francis.
It's unorthodox.
He's very unorthodox. And he was shucking and jiving, doing his thing. He was looking pretty until he got caught. Then once he got caught and he got put down, damn, that's when he really started moving around even more. He wasn't so cute on the inside, and he was just more using a jab, catching. A lot of people wasn't giving Tyson Fury credit for that jab. He was catching Ngannou with the jab and falling right into it and grabbing him. Falling up, backing up, hitting him with the jab, and then grabbing him again. You know what I mean? Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. This is why a lot of
people felt like Francis won, right?
Yeah.
Because it's Tyson Fury. Everybody expected Tyson Fury to wash him. Remember when you asked me, you was like, yo, who's going to win a fight? We'll do for. I said, bro, nigga ain't got it. He was like, you asked me, like, what's his chances? I said, 0.
Yeah, that's
like,
that's exactly
you expect Tyson Fury, an elite heavyweight. Some people saying the best heavyweight of all time, all kind of crazy shit. You expect him to just put on a boxing clinic on a dude who never boxed before. And Fury is a great boxer. So you just expected him to put on a boxing clinic. You know, just real basic. He didn't even have to go in his bag. Just, keep it boxing, like an elite boxer. You know what I mean? Fight behind your jab, drop that 2 on them, 1, 2, 3, just, you know what I mean? Ring generalship. Boxing IQ, you expected that just to win him the fight.
Yeah.
Alone. You know what I mean? And when we weren't seeing that, you just felt like, okay, man. And Tyson, he didn't look good. So, everybody loves the underdog story. So whenever you feel like a round's close, you want to give it to the underdog. You know?
Yeah.
And that's why that fight was so close. That's why so many people felt like Francis won. Because it wasn't more so what Francis did, it's what Tyson didn't do.
Facts.
You know? So,
Let me slide back up and touch on the Tank. I don't want to feel. I mean, we probably got a lot of Tankamaniacs listening to this channel.
Tankamaniacs, Tankaholics.
We don't want to do our Tankamaniac fans. You know what I'm saying? No disservice. Tank and Ryan fight, man. Big event. We all got together for that one. Yeah, I mean, the drinks was pouring, the food was ordered. You know what I mean? We all got together. Everybody took time off work to watch this big spectacle. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're watching this fight. We were out of all these fights on this screen. I think this was the only fight, other than the Terrence Crawford and the Earl Spence fight, that we watched with casuals. You know what I mean? And a lot of people had mixed feelings about it. A lot of people were rooting for Ryan, especially the casuals were rooting for Ryan. I mean, they wanted Ryan to shut this guy up that be talking all this shit, this Mayweather protege. You know what I mean?
Underdog story, man. Underdog
story, getting in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Getting in trouble with the law. You know what I mean? Hitting runs, you know what I'm saying? Slapping up his girl in public. Bad guy image, you know what I mean? People want to see sometimes these guys get their just due. Mm-hmm. I'm not one of them, man. I root for the bad guys. But it lived up to it to an extent. I mean, Ryan went in there, guns a blazing. He was trying to get it done early. He said he was gonna knock Tank out in second round or third round or some shit like that.
Something like that. He went for it.
He went for what he said he was gonna do.
For it. Right
it
there,
just
we
didn't
looking
work
at
out
it
in his favor.
And
he got planted twice. One to the head, one to the body. Done deal. Chop closed.
Yep.
Bam Rodriguez versus Sonny Edwards.
Good fight. Two good young fighters putting it on the line. 1 and 2. Both those guys could have went in 3 and 4. Really, this fight should have probably been for undisputed. Both those guys could have fought the other 2 champions. But they said, hey, fuck it. I'm 1, you 2. Let's get it on right now.
I really do
that
think
fight wasn't on the hill right after Devin and Regis. And what was the fight before that? Benavidez and Andre. That fight would have got a lot more publicity. You know?
Yeah.
But man, Ben put on a performance for that. Them's the truth. Them's the truth. Sonny is the truth. Sonny's good, man. Ain't got no power, but he can fight.
Yeah.
You know? He ain't scared to fight. But usually dudes with no power, they just want to be slick and outbox you, beat you on the outside. But Sonny fights.
Hey, Los, keep rapping. Give me 1 second. I gotta do something real quick.
Fight. So that was a good fight. Let's go down. Mexican Monster versus Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. Another great matchup, man. We expected this fight to be, back and forth. Nobody really, I know I didn't think it was going to be so one-sided. But
I'm back.
Benavidez shows, man, why he's called the Mexican Monster. And he put it down on Andre, man. I think everybody think Andre, this was on the heels of the Shakur and De Los Santos fight. And nobody wanted to go out like Shakur.
Yeah.
So I feel like Andre didn't fight his style of fight.
I think he tried to fight his style of fight, man. It's just that Benavidez was closing the gap.
I don't know. Demetrius usually. There was a couple of things in play, and I feel like Demetrius added too much weight, too much muscle. He tried to go up in weight the wrong way, and it made him slower. And then it came, and of course,
this fight
really put it down on him.
Was a fight where I really felt strongly about what the outcome was gonna be, and the manner of how it happened was a little shocking, because a lot of people are gonna shit on Demetrius Andrade, and they're gonna say, "Oh, I told you this guy was this guy was that." Nah, son, fuck that. Demetrius Andrade is the truth. I've seen him do to fighters. Like, I'm gonna give you an example. Mojan Selesky, right? Mojan Selesky was a fighter that fought Danny Jacobs on an HBO telecast, and nobody can tell me he didn't win that fight. He didn't get the nod, but nobody could tell me he didn't win that fight. He controlled that fight. He should have got a victory. He beat him by at least 3 rounds. And I remember when that fight got announced, it was a DAZN fight, Andre versus Selesky. And I was telling one of my dogs, upset alert, upset alert. What Andre did to this guy was amazing. I'm talking about devastation. I don't even think Selesky won a round. He was that dominant. And that's when that was a fight that let me know that Andre was on another level in terms of skills.
Mm-hmm.
Now, him fighting Benavidez, this shit has a lot to do with size. This shit has a lot to do with age. It has a lot to do with age. And like you said, going up in weight, putting on muscle, probably feeling that you have to keep him honest by hitting him with shots that he's gonna respect. And he wasn't able to deliver the shots with enough force to have Benavidez respect him. So the Benavidez just kept walking him down. Amazing performance. Hats off to Benavidez. This is one of the fights, one of the results that has him a front runner in another category. But before I go on to the next fighter on this image, the Bam Rodriguez, I didn't get a chance to touch on that. You were saying that Sonny Edwards is they should have been for undisputed, possibly, right?
Possibly. Should have been. 1 or 2 in the division.
I think when it's all said and done, Sonny Edwards is going to be the one to get exposed. I think the other fighters in that weight class are stronger competition for Bam Rodriguez than Sonny Edwards was, because he doesn't have the power. That's the main thing. You know what I mean? Bam is killing himself to make that weight. He was even kind of insinuating that he's going to probably move back up a weight class because he's killing himself. It's tough for him to make that weight. Sonny don't got the power, man. He got the moves. He got skills, but he don't got power, man. And when guys can just walk through your shit, you got to have a lot of energy.
How many guys?
Repeat?
How many guys have power like Bam, though, in no matter weight class?
Yeah, but Bam has the power. So when you're going to be fighting guys like Bam...
But not that many guys like Bam. Just hit, just punches. You know? So I think Sonny gonna bounce back. He gonna whoop somebody else. You know? And Bam is going back up. He's going back up to 115. So let's say what, we could fight things like Estrada or Chocolatito and those guys.
Yeah, get closer to the mic.
Let's say he could they're talking about damn fighting, I think it's Estrada or Chocolatito. So he's going back up to 114. He's done with 112. So he's still do his thing.
You got Artem Delakian in that weight class, and you got Julio Cesar Martinez in that weight class as well. I think definitely Julio Cesar Martinez beats freaking Sonny Edwards. So I think that's the next guy. That's gonna be Bam's toughest challenge if he decides to stay in that weight class.
He's not
gonna be Julio Cesar Martinez.
Bam beats him all.
Even though he's inactive as fuck.
Bam beats him all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he could beat him, but I think that's gonna give him. It's gonna be a much tougher challenge than the Sonny Edwards fight.
What is Bam, like 22?
Yeah, he's young as fuck. I'm not sure what his age is, but he's young as fuck.
He's young, bro.
The Takeover. Teofimo, the Takeover Lopez versus the what is it? The Tartan Tornado. Josh Taylor.
That fight was probably that performance was probably runner up.
That's your runner up performance of the year.
That's my runner up performance.
Don't tell me you're number one yet, but runner up definitely was a shocker. The way he did him.
The way he did him. How he was shining on him. Was jump he showed out that fight. Teofimo showed why he got the nickname to take over. He did his thing that fight. He took over that fight. That fight was a little closer early on. He got warmed up. It was over.
Yeah, that was
he got busy in the middle to late rounds.
That definitely was impressive. It definitely resurrected his career because like you said in another podcast that we did, he was questioning himself. He was wondering if he was still that guy. And he displayed a boxing clinic on Josh Taylor. Mind you, Josh Taylor was struggling with the weight. You know what I'm saying? Very long layoff. Over a year he didn't fight, right? Injuries, getting married, drinking, smoking, probably. I don't know what the fuck he does. Cocaine. What are they doing? Fucking and what do they do over there, dog? Hanging out, you know what I'm saying? Whoring. Allegedly.
But I give it to him. He was
living life.
He didn't want to go to 47, but stayed at 40 made the weight. He was still the lineal champ.
Where does he go from here?
I think he goes to 47 and does work. I think this win ages well for I think John Taylor goes up maybe. That's his thing. He's gonna lose again. He's gonna come across another boxer like Teofimo.
Yeah.
Teofimo was able to put it together, man. Teofimo's he's hot and cold. He's a hot and cold fighter. And you don't know what Teofimo you're gonna get. But when it's a big stage, big fight, he shows up and does his thing. He's football, we say it's like you play down to your competition.
Yeah.
Right? And then big games you show up. It's Teofimo right there. He's facing lower level competition. Kind of fights down to their level. And you put him on the big show with a guy that's that dude, like so he did with Lomachenko. And this dude right here doing his thing. So here's my runner.
Then we're gonna go with Boots and Villa. Ron Boots Ennis versus Roman Villa.
That fight was nasty.
Nasty fight, man. Beat down, devastating beat down. Villa stood in there, man. He took mad amount of shots. Boots looked very impressive. Showed his bag. A lot of movement. Upper body, lower body movement.
Boots was shining on him too.
Shining on him. Hitting him with wide shots, short shots.
Yeah, that was a great fight. That was a great performance.
Great performance. Great performance.
He had to
But
go
because
in
of
his
the
bag
competition, you
and
can't
really, he
win.
had to go in his bag, not because
Nah, he was
it
showcasing.
was. Yeah, it was because felt like he wasn't going nowhere.
Yeah,
You know? So
he
Boots
just kept
had to,
coming.
like,
He had
okay,
massive heart.
yeah, he had to get in that. He was trying to get him out of there, but Villa wasn't going nowhere. So he made Boots have to fight. He made Boots go in his bag now.
And we saved the best for last, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be the consensus performance of
the year, Terrence Bud Crawford.
To my sadness,
Beat the brakes off Errol.
this is a fight that made me question whether I wanted to even watch boxing anymore. Terrence,
I gotta give you guys the caveat, man. After this fight, Classick wouldn't even talk to me after this fight. I went home, told my girl, I'm like, on the way home, like, man, he ain't gonna talk to me for about 2, 3, 4, 5 days. After this episode. What? Terrence beat the shit out of Errol.
man.
This man Classick is so sad that night. I can't even say a word. And man, listen. Oh man. Like I said, Terrence, what made this performance so great was the opposition, man. It was Errol Spence.
Definitely sad.
I mean, unified champ, rebuilt champion, dominant. You know what I mean? Beat champions, took every belt champion. But Bud put together.
Masterclass, man. You say Devin Haney's performance was a masterclass. This is the definition of a masterclass because he didn't play with his food.
Wasn't even a masterclass. This wasn't, not to cut you off. Haney was a masterclass, but Bud.
They're both masterclasses.
Bud was a destruction.
This was a masterclass and a massacre in the same sentence.
Massacre. It was
sad.
Demolition.
Sad. It was sad.
It wasn't sad. It was great.
Nah, it was sad, man, because I was more happy for it to be over than anything else. You know what I mean?
It should have been over early.
No, I mean, like, I was just happy for it to come and go. Like I wasn't confident in Earl going into this fight. And you know what I'm saying? I've spoken about it before in the past. I'm not gonna dwell on it again. I was just happy for it to be over. I'm not looking forward to the rematch. But if Earl wants it, he should have it. You know what I mean? He's the one taking the punches, not me. If he feels like there's something, if he sees and he feels something he could have did that he didn't get to do, or he made a mistake in that fight that he think he can correct, let him come back and try to rectify the wrong. Who am I? But I just don't see it happening.
One thing they said was the interview with Victor Conte, right? And Coach Malachi, he asked him. So they said, hey, Bud, they said that Bud was on the snack, right? And all this and all that. And Conte was like, no. Bud is a super clean fighter. You know what I mean? Levada tested. But he says one thing he does know, and did heard was, because he knows one of the trainers in Bud's camp, Errol's camp. And he mentioned that a week before the fight, Bud went on like a 4 or 5 mile run up in the mountains in elevation.
Earl did. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. And they said it zapped all his energy.
And it zapped him, bro. And it's like when you don't train in elevation like that, you just go up there a week before the fight, you go run 5 miles, man, you can get like elevation sickness. You know, so when everybody was like, "Well, look, Earl looks high. He looks like he was on edibles. This and that." That could have been the that look he had could have been because of the run he went on.
Yeah, but you fucking seen it. You said you seen a recent picture of him. He was looking like he was in elevation again, nigga. What the fuck?
Earl
Like he living in elevation right now, nigga.
Earl living up. I don't blame him, bro. I don't get mad at him. Earl did his thing. Took punishment. You gotta let that man live.
Nah, man. He listen. When it comes to fighters taking a beating, especially being a man for so long, having that type of acclaim, having those type of accolades that he's had, you know what I'm saying? And people love Errol. And for him to take the beating that he took and no excuses, no fucking arguments. I haven't seen when was the last fighter that took a loss, being an undefeated fighter in that manner, and didn't give no excuses and then clap back and blame this person, blame that person, fire this person, fire that person.
I haven't seen it.
Bruh, Earl's the truth, bruh.
But if I'm it's hard to do. It's Earl. He had a loss, beat so many good fighters. If I'm Derrick, hindsight is 2020, man. But if I'm Derrick James, I might have thrown the towel early. I let save him, you know. Like, come on, bro. You see your man getting great speed off him. Like, yo, call it after the first or second.
You got a rematch.
No, you got a rematch.
Yeah, but
you know you're struggling with the weight.
A la Woods.
Yeah, you see your man get the shit beat out of him. You could have called it, and then that way Earl still keeps his confidence, you know, and psychologically, you still feel like, yo, could have beat him, man, but my corner fucking threw the towel. Made up an excuse and get to the rematch. But I don't think he did him justice. He did him a disservice by letting him get pounded the way he got pounded. Like, I could see him getting stopped sooner.
Yeah.
Because now, but it's one thing to believe and feel like you can do something to somebody. Now you know you can. And now Earl too. It's one thing, like he thought he was gonna beat the brakes off Texas. He got beat down. So if the rematch starts off one-sided, like the first fight, he's really gonna throw it, like, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, it's gonna be psychologically gonna be devastating for him to get over. I was saying what you were talking about was kind of like what happened with Lee Wood and Laura. Remember, Lee Woods was getting beat up. He got dropped. He got up. He wanted to continue. He beat the count. He was about to go back in there, and Ben Davis threw in the towel. I said, no. We got a rematch. We'll get him in a rematch, and that's exactly what happened.
You have to save your fighter, bro. And it's because of this. You know what I mean? And that's what you do when you throw in the towel, right? You put the loss on the coach, and you take it from the fighter. You know what I mean? The fighter always gonna feel like he can keep on going.
Yeah.
And as a coach, you could just be like, "Yo, I didn't want you. I didn't like how you was looking. Like everybody sort of look in Earl's eye. That's easy. Derrick James could have been like, you know." Nah, you wasn't good tonight, wasn't your night. You know what I mean? But the rematch, you're going to get his ass. Don't even worry. Tonight wasn't your night. You know what I mean? But you could whoop that boy. I know you could whoop that boy. But the look in your eye ain't like what I saw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ain't like what I saw, so I stopped. That's on me. And then you could go and say, yeah, I love him. I mean, I didn't want to see him. I didn't want to see him get hurt. I probably stopped it prematurely, but that's because how much love I got for him. I don't raise this boy about the damn near the amateurs. You know what I mean? So that's all me. When the rematch, we're gonna get it. You know what I mean?
So give it to me.
The fighter can stay confident.
Who's the winner? Eminent Sports Broadcasting Performance of the Year. Who you giving it to?
Terrence Bud Crawford, man. Masterclass. That fight put him on the Mount Rushmore boxing.
Facts.
I said it. That fight put him on the Mount Rushmore boxing. He gets Performance of the Year because of the person he beat the opposition. Errol the True Spence. And his nickname is Fate. That boy is the truth. That boy demolished. That was probably I don't know if we've seen a more one-sided fight in the last 20, 30 years from two top fighters, bro. I don't know if we've seen a more one-sided fight than that. So, Bud got it for me.
I am going to agree with you. As much as I would like not to agree with you on this one because of the I gotta agree with you, man. This was the fight that probably had the closest odds. This was a fight that was built up for quite some time, and Terrence Bud Crawford shined in an amazing way. I would agree with you as well as the second runner-up in terms of performance of the year gotta be Teofimo Lopez, based on the odds, all the pundits that I listened to, all the podcasts that I listened to. Everyone was picking against Teofimo Lopez. Nobody was giving him a shot. People were saying he was going to get beat up, he was going to get embarrassed, and it was the complete opposite. But Terrence Bud Crawford definitely gets it for me, gets it for you. And so we're moving on to the very next topic, which is Fight of the Year. Crowded class. Fight of the Year, you got Arthur Beterbiev versus Anthony Yarde. You got Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. You got Jaime Munguia versus Sergey Derevyanchenko. You have Caleb Plant versus David Benavidez. You have Oshaki Foster versus Eduardo Hernandez. And you have Robisi Romero versus Rafael Espinoza. Definitely the biggest discrepancy in terms of odds has to be the Robisi Ramirez versus Espinoza fight. I think Espinoza was going at a plus 1,200.
Yeah, dudes made money on that fight.
Plus 1,200 or something like that on that fight for Espinoza. So that was definitely the biggest odds. But I've seen all the fights on this. The only fight I had to catch up on really was the Oshaki Foster and the Eduardo Hernandez fight. I had to catch up on that. I missed that when it first popped off. But all these fights on here were amazing. Let's start from the left. I'll start with it. Arthur Beterbiev versus Anthony Yarde. Beterbiev is the long reigning champion at that weight class, 175 pounds. You know what I mean? 3 belts, recognized as the man in that division. Ring Magazine champion.
Lions in the camp
versus Lions in the camp, Anthony Yarde. This was one of the early fights of the year, and Arthur's is kicking off the year as well. I think he got the second fight for the year next week. This fight took place in London, I think in the O2 Arena.
Lions in the comp.
Started off real good. Arthur Beterbiev was keeping Yard honest. Yard was catching him with some good shots. Some uppercuts early, but Beterbiev, like he always does, catches you with them crushing jabs. Slowly, methodically, gets inside, starts hitting you to the body, start hitting you with the head with hooks. Wide shots, but he places them good and he catches you when you're covering up, because people tend to do that with him a lot. Once they start getting hit with that power and they start feeling that shit, they don't want to get hit with none of flush. They start covering up, and he starts putting the shots wherever he wants to put them.
Mm-hmm.
And he slowly broke Yard down. Yard had a lot of fight in him. You know what I mean? It was a back and forth fight. I mean, back and forth in terms of action, but round for round, Beterbiev was getting the best of him. So it was like a one-sided fight in terms of scoring, but in terms of action, very competitive fight. Next up, Jaime Munguia versus Sergey Derevyanchenko. This fight was amazing, bruh. Fight on the zone, Golden Boy fight.
No defense, all offense.
All offense. No D whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this fight was good, bro. This fight was like, scoring this fight was tough because every round you had to score minute by minute. One fighter would win a minute, the next fighter would win the next minute. Who you got in those first 2 minutes? Okay, the next minute is gonna determine my next guy. Maybe the next 30 seconds is gonna determine the winner of this round. This fight was that they were catching each other with hellacious shots. No head movement, no blocking. These are the reasons why I kind of stay away from fights like this for fight of the year. Moving on over to the right again. You want to comment on that one, my G?
Yeah, well, that's why those fights are fights of the year. Because, you know, it's, you don't know who's going to win, and both those guys just slugging it out. But, good fight, man. All offense, no defense. Go ahead, go 2 minutes.
Robisi Ramirez versus Espinoza.
This fight could definitely have one upset of the year, for sure. Probably was upset of the year. Definitely.
Yeah, we didn't do that topic, but this could have been upset of the year along with Parker and Wilder. I thought the Parker win over Wilder was a little bit more impactful in terms of an upset.
Definitely, because of who the person who
good
got
fight
upset.
though, man. This was a really, really good fight, back and forth. They both put each other down. Robisi at one point, if Robisi would have put in some body work and not just strictly go for the head, he could have got him out of there, because when he put Espinoza down with the body shot, had him on the floor, he had more than enough opportunities to get him out of there, but he wasn't gassed enough. So Espinoza was able to keep moving while Robisi was just winging shots to the head and not connecting. But if he was steady to the body when he was inside, and he was inside a lot, he was taking a lot of shots. This was a bad matchup. This was a bad matchup because Espinoza was so tall and he was so long. Kind of reminds me of when Navarrete fought Dogbe. I think this is a mistake to go in for the rematch for this fight. He might have to do it for the payday and just to get the belt back so he can be in position for the Inoue fight. But this might be the same it might be the same outcome. And you're gonna take years off your career taking shots from a guy that's much bigger than you, taller than you, longer than you. Yeah, and he's coming in with more confidence because he beat you already. Two of the judges had this scorecard. I think one judge had it a draw, which was bullshit. And another judge had it Espinoza winning by a couple rounds. I had it more of a 116, 110 affair with knockdowns on both sides. I thought it was a very easy fight to score. The rounds Espinoza won He won them clearly. The rounds that Robisi won, he won them barely. And this is very similar to the next fight I'm going to talk about, the Oshaki Foster and Eduardo Hernandez fight. This fight right here was very skillful fight by Oshaki. You know what I mean? He did a lot of holding, but he was able to place his shots. Eduardo Hernandez was nonstop, rock 'em, stock 'em robots. Rocky Hernandez kept coming in, getting hit with a lot of shots, but he was giving his. Oshaki, when he switched to southpaw, that's when he kind of changed the dynamic of the fight. They had this close fight close as well on the scorecard, and I didn't think it was that close either. Oshaki won by knockout with seconds to go in the final round. He knocked him down twice, and then the referee called it with like 30 seconds left. And on the scorecards, two of the judges, I think I had the when I said draw, and then I think I got the fights mixed up, but I think one of the judges did have a draw on the Robisi fight, but a judge had a draw on this fight as well. But the other two judges had it going for Rocky Hernandez, which I think was BS to the highest degree. I thought Oshaki won clearly the rounds that he won, and close. Some rounds were close, but I gave Rocky 4 rounds in that fight. And Oshaki, of course, if you would have scored that 12th round, it would have been devastating because he knocked him down twice. But definitely fight of the year candidate based on, champion versus contender versus mandatory contender. And the fight lived up to it. And I'm so happy that he got that knockout, because it would have been heartbreaking for him to go to Mexico. You know what I'm saying? He was in the guy's backyard. And for him to get robbed in that manner would have been devastating. So I'm very, very happy that he was able to close out the show.
Well, that's what you gotta do, man.
So give me what you feel about the David Benavidez and the Caleb Plant fight.
To me, that's my runner-up fight of the year.
Based on the level of competition, huh?
Based on the level of competition. You know how I rock. David, Caleb, that the first 6 rounds, I don't know. Caleb possibly could have been winning the fight.
Definitely was winning
by
the fight.
By slight margin, for sure. He was doing his thing, man. People sleep on Caleb, but Caleb is the truth. That boy could fight. He was putting up a good fight against that man. And David, showed his grit, showed what he was about, and stepped it up. He took over the second half of the fight and pulled it out. But you throw in the grudge match, the grudge match. Not a grudge match, but they had beef. They've been beefing for years. They've been wanting to fight each other for years. It was perfect timing, perfect time for them boys to fight. Both of them boys at the top of their game. Caleb had just came off the knockout at the rail.
Yeah.
Had just fought Canelo the year prior. So he was out there. Benavidez, we all know about Benavidez. It was a great fight. Great fight. Great build-up.
Really good fight.
That
underrated fight.
That post-fight was great, too.
See, the reason why...
They settled it like men. They had a lot of animosity. It's a lot of tension. Real beef. But they settled it like men. Shook hands. Stand up. Respect to both of them.
Okay, so before we get to the
slept on fight, like you said, slept on fight.
Very slept on. I think a lot of times because it was early in the year. Same thing with the Yard and the Berterbia fight. It was early in the year, so a lot of people tend to forget about it, and they kind of lean towards the fights that happened later on in the year. But the reason why I respect that fight, same way I respect the Oshaki Foster fight, reason why I respect the Haney and Lomachenko fight, reason why I respect the the Beterbiev and Yard fight is because there was skills involved. Not only is it fight of the year candidate, but there was skills, there was defense, there was movement, there was holding, there was block. It wasn't just you're throwing shots, I'm throwing shots, and whoever gets knocked out gets knocked out. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of those type of fights. Those type of fights I kind of watch with the bitter beer face. And I just watch it and I just like, So, kind of how I kind of feel like how we're going. Kind of like how I kind of like led it up to with in terms of performance of the year. Fight of the year. Devin Haney, Lomachenko. You agree?
Definitely fight of the year. I feel like this fight doesn't get the credit and the respect and the claim that it should have.
Why?
Because of
I'll tell you why.
Because of the hate for Devin Haney. Like
because of the hate for Devin Haney or the love for Lomachenko?
Both. And this fight, nobody talks about this fight. When people talk about this fight, nobody talks about how great of a fight it was. Bro, this fight was back and forth. It had swings.
Came down a couple rounds, bro.
You know what I mean? Haney started off strong. Then Lomachenko came, swarmed back. You know what I mean? No. Haney started off strong. Lomachenko fighting him off. Haney coming back. Lomachenko finishing the fight strong. Then Devin coming back, showing grit, showing heart, showing the heart of a champion. Comes back, wins the 12th round. Needed the 12th round to win the fight, and he does it.
Yeah.
This fight went back and forth. Two great boxers.
Yeah.
Two dudes with immense skill and technique. It was a great fight. Nobody talks about it. Everyone got hate. People love Loma, or everybody was talking about, oh, he got robbed, this and that. But you can't be robbed in a close fight.
Yeah.
It can't be a robbery if the fight was close.
It's asinine.
It can only be a robbery if the fight was one-sided and the other dude won. Or
Very
in the case of like, it was just ridiculous, bro. And the fight doesn't get the acclaim that it should, man. This fight should be going down in history. Like, didn't have the knockdowns and all that, but back and forth. And what was at stake?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody, they try to discredit Loma. Oh, Loma's old. I mean, look, was 34, 35 years old. Like, the boy ain't been in no wars and none of that shit. He still got a lot of juice left, still got a lot of heart left. He said he was the best he ever been. No injuries, no nothing. He was fighting for his dream, you know, to be undisputed. He had the opportunity to be undisputed, you know? And people don't put that into, like, it doesn't get no, like, dog. This was the, like, you see it in football, right? College football, when a team plays University of Miami, a team plays Alabama, a team plays Georgia. Whatever team is playing them, that's that team's Super Bowl right there. That's their team national championship right there. You know? So you getting that person's best. You getting that team's best. I feel like that's what Devin got. He got Lomachenko's best. Lomachenko was older, but man, Devin got Lomachenko's best right there. Right. He got the best Lomachenko could give right there.
Right there. I agree with you, man.
And he edged it out.
I thought Haney was gonna wash him.
Mm-hmm.
You remember me?
You thought Haney was gonna wash him.
You remember me leading up to it, and I was telling you, and I was talking to you about it, like, bruh, Haney gonna beat the shit out of this old ass motherfucker, bruh. Lomachenko is not what people think he is. You know what I'm saying? Even though he's a great fighter, Haney is just on another level. Which I do feel Haney is on another level, but being weight drained and everything kind of balanced him a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
It balanced him.
Fight.
Yes, because the one with Haney at 140 would have washed little Lomachenko. But that's not to say that's taking nothing away from Lomachenko, because we know what Lomachenko was at 26 and 130. It was a mismatch. It was a mismatch.
Yeah.
Like, he was beyond dominant at those weight classes. He wasn't. He could. It wasn't a situation where he couldn't make the weight. There was no competition for the men. You know what I mean? So that's why I love Lomachenko, because he challenged himself and pushed himself. All right, 126, easy, man. Wash them boys up. Go to 130. Wash them boys up. All right, come on. I can't get the fights I want at 126, 130 because this dude's scared of me. All right, let's come on. Let's go to 35. I can get some fights there. I'm the smaller man there. Dudes will take the fight. And that's what we saw. And he was getting a little older, but still, come on, 34, 35 years old? Anyway. Still, like, when you were specimen like Lomachenko, bro, fight athlete, you still in your prime. He ain't no Arturo Gatti or Mickey Ward when he's in these wars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all that. Nah, man, he's been putting on master classes his whole life. He ain't getting hit. He ain't getting beat up. He's fresh. His 34, his 35 is like some of these other dudes, 26, 27, 28. You know what I mean? And we gonna see that in the next fight, whoever he decides to fight. They say it's supposed to be Cambosis. But Lomachenko's Lomachenko, bro. Like,
yeah.
He's a great fighter, man. Lomachenko's a great fighter. No mas Lomachenko, man. This dude had dudes quitting on the stool. You know what I mean? But, and I know, like, the man, Sabril, last 5 fights all ended on stool. Difference is, man, Loma was the top flight competition, bro. He'll be the champion.
This right here says it all, man. This right here says it all, man. Like, anybody that has any fucking problem with the results of this fight, and I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. And a lot of it has to do with race. But I listened to the Showtime podcast, right? And they wanted to give it to Devin Haney. They said Devin Haney deserved Fighter of the Year. But you know why they didn't give it to Devin Haney? Because they said that they really feel like Lomachenko won the fight. And that Lomachenko got robbed. Even though they say it was a close fight, they feel like Lomachenko should have got the nod. But the problem I have with that statement is, if you're scoring the fight and you score for Lomachenko, explain to me how Devin Haney, what was the body percentage that he had over Lomachenko? He landed majority of Devin Haney's shots was to the body, right?
Killed his body.
So they want to say like 60 or 40% of Devin Haney's shots was to the body, and Lomachenko basically didn't land no body shots, right, on Haney, right? But look at Lomachenko's face. So if majority of the punches that Devin Haney landed was to the body, explain the face, man. Exactly. So you telling me he didn't land to his face, and his face looked like that?
Mm-hmm. Devin's face didn't look like that.
Devin's face didn't look like that. Man, mind you, his face got touched up. His face got touched up.
He got touched up, but it didn't look like that.
But majority of Haney punches that landed was to the body. But explain the face.
This man Devin had Lomachenko lifting his leg up from the body shot. Like leg off the ground. Like it's like if you in the gym and you scoring a fight and not do a novice and you hit him to the body and instantly your natural reaction is your leg is coming up. You know what I mean? Like if you punching just a regular Joe Schmo in the street in the stomach.
Yeah.
Like, Devin put it to work. He had to grit. And that fight, and I told you that fight made him so much better. Like so much better. And that's what those fights do. And you see that with fighters. You saw that with Canelo versus Floyd. That fight against Floyd made Canelo so much better. You know what I mean? I felt like that when Caleb fought Canelo, even though he ended up getting stopped, that fight made it better. You know? And that's what you see when fighters fight great fighters, especially when they pull it out. It just takes their game to another level.
Yeah. So we are in consensus, right? Devin Haney, fight of the year. 2023 fight of the year.
Fight of the year.
Hands down.
Devin Haney.
You got Benavidez Plant as your runner-up.
Definitely.
I am going to have to go with the Oshaki, Foster, and Hernandez fight, and all because of how it ended with Oshaki.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Getting the knockout. Needed the knockout to win, and he got it. Needed the knockout to win, and he got it.
The way how he was calm, and then he just caught him with a shot, and then it just flipped, and he just went in, knocked him down. He got up, knocked him down again, and then closed the show. And like I said, it would have been a travesty if he would have lost his belt in Mexico against a Mexican fighter when he clearly won the fight. I didn't think it was that, like, for you to have it Hernandez winning the fight. I gotta question you as a boxing judge. So now we go to it, man. We are about to unveil the candidates for Fighter of the Year. This is the most prestigious award to be given out to a fighter in the sport of boxing, probably in the sport of MMA too. And these are the horses in the race. You have David Benavidez.
Got Joshua in there. Ooh, you got Tim Zillin up. Ooh, check this nigga out, man. This shit a 1, 2, 3, 4-man race. Really a 3-man race for me. But
It's a 3-man race for you. I got 6 fighters in this image. 6 deserving fighters, and for different reasons. You want me to tell you the reasons, brother?
What do you think, man?
All right. Everybody knows Crawford got the biggest win out of all these guys, right? He got the win over Errol the Truth Spence, who I feel like is a shell of himself because of the accident. For him to get to where he's gotten with the 2 fights that he was able to win, and I was even nervous with those fights coming off of that accident, to get thoroughly dominated by Terence Crawford, I still got to give Crawford his props, because I still had somewhat of faith that Errol was gonna be able to pull it off. But he wasn't able to do it. Terence Crawford put on the performance of the year, but he's either fighter of the year with 1 fight. You know what I'm saying? He got the most prestigious win out of all these guys, but it was just 1 win. No fault of his. He beat Earl so bad that Earl couldn't even come back in December for the rematch. Earl probably had to throw him a couple M's to let the fight roll over to the next year. He probably had to do something. He had to concede something. Something went on behind closed doors. As you know, Terence Crawford is a businessman. So he definitely went to Al Heyman and said, listen, my contract said this shit's supposed to pop off in December. What's goody? All right, man, here, this is what it is. They had to do something to keep this guy relaxed, because he wasn't going out there talking shit, and he wasn't like talking bad about the promotion and the company. He was quiet. He was cool.
No, I think they just threw him more. I think they just told him, yeah, your next fight, don't worry. You got a dub coming to you.
Monster Inoue
coming to you.
becomes undisputed in 2 fights. knocking off a somewhat close, close to a 50-50 fight in Stephen Fulton. Knocked him off in devastating fashion, made the fight look easy. Then he goes on at the end of the year to close out the year, last fight of the year. Actually, no, was it the last? It was it was a Tuesday after the Day of Reckoning.
Mm-hmm.
Knocks off Tapales, the guy that beat Mojan Akhmadov for the next 2 belts, undisputed in two fights. Very impressive. But who was Tapales? Who was Tapales, bruh?
I don't know. And that's the problem with NUA. You know what I mean?
That's the problem with the weight class that he fights in.
Great accolades. Great accomplishments.
No name recognition.
Only 4, though. I give him 4. And that 4th fight is what puts him on
In the
ballot,
conversation.
in the conversation. You know? Nothing to take away from anyway, because just because we don't know the people don't mean they're not great fighters. You know? Being champions. You know? So you got to put respect on them.
Yeah, but he beat a champion that didn't even reign as a champion. The person won the belt and they went straight in for a fight with him. It's not like the fighter defended his belt 5 times.
Right, but he's still a champion.
No, I'm not.
Still
like
won
I
the
said,
chain, still won a belt.
he won a belt.
And
But that's not the end
but
all.
yeah, they say you're not a real champion until you defend it. But he's beat a lot of champions. That's the truth.
But like I said, I have a problem with them weight classes because a lot of those weight classes
I
like
feel like
2-3 pounds.
I feel like he's the Asian fighter of the year. One show. American fighter of the year, two horse race. You know what I mean?
We not doing American Fighter year. We doing boxing fighter of the year.
I know, but you know what I mean?
Next up, Tim Tszyu. I
He a
snuck Tim
dog.
Tszyu in.
Yeah, he's stuck in here, dog.
I sent you the graphic first without Tim Tszyu in it, but then when I was really thinking about it, beats Harris. Beats Harris. Right? Then goes on and then beats Mendoza, the guy that beats the Boogeyman. Took the Boogie out of the picture for everybody. Tim Tszyu fights him immediately. I guarantee you if Sebastian was still the guy in that position, I don't think he would have took that fight. Because I ain't never heard him call for Fondora's name. As soon as Fondora gets knocked off, he takes
Fondora was the
Mendoza.
boogeyman.
Huh?
Fondora was that nigga nobody wanted to see. But
Nobody wanted to see Fondora. Mendoza did a lot of dudes a big favor by knocking Fondora off. So now everybody got an excuse for not fighting Fondora. Then, actually, I think the Fondora fight was last, right? So before that, he fought Ocampo, a guy that Earl dispatched in what, 1 round or 2 rounds was it? He gets rid of him. So he had 3 fights. 1 fight was a throwaway, the Ocampo fight. Not really a big fight, but Ocampo was on a big winning streak. But you got to give him credit for Harris and for Mendoza. Because if Mendoza beat the Boogeyman, he stopped Mendoza. Did he stop Mendoza or did it go to distance? I think that might have went distance. I think that went the distance. But he stopped Harrison.
He's been a man on a mission.
He been on a tear. And then if you roll over what he did from the year before,
he's had a lot of wins, man.
He's on a run right now.
Yeah.
You got to give it to him. Tim Tszyu, definitely in the conversation for fighter of the year.
Yeah.
And now you saw Joshua on there, and you said something.
He's had 3 good wins this year.
Pull up the graphic. Joshua versus Franklin.
Just the level of competition that just isn't there. Franklin,
It's heavyweight boxing.
and Whalen, yeah, but the level of competition
Heavyweight
is
boxing.
all about.
One punch.
He's been beating C and B level fighters.
So let me make a case for Joshua real quick. He beats Franklin, right? dominates him, doesn't look confident in the fight, you know what I'm saying? Working on some things that Derek James had him working on. Wasn't really dominant in the fight, but he won basically every round. Mind you, Franklin is coming off a fight where he looked very, very impressive against Rude Boy. What's his name again? Jamaican, British nigga from over there. What's his name again? The one that got knocked out by Povetkin. Dillian White. Goes in there against Dillian White, looks impressive. I mean, a lot of people thought he won the fight, but he looked good against Dillian White. Comes in, Joshua dominates him. Joshua goes in there with Hellenius. Hellenius, who got knocked out by Wilder in 1 round. Joshua takes about 6 rounds to get him out of there. But guess what? Hellenius tests positive for steroids. Joshua beat a juice man. Heavyweight division, where 1 punch could change everything. Then he closes out the year and he fights Otto Wallin. A lot of people don't let people get revisionist history on it. Mind you, I'm not even a fan of Anthony Joshua, but don't let people get revisionist history on you and say that this was a foregone conclusion, because Wallin was the guy that nobody wanted to fight. Remember, Dillian White was scheduled to fight him, and he bowed out of the fight. He ducked the fight and claimed injury, and then went and fought somebody else right after. Tyson Fury, I think it was. He was scheduled to fight to fight Wallin. He said he was injured, then he went and fought Tyson Fury.
That was
So truth be told, Joshua had a good year.
He did have a good year. Good bounce back here. After losing twice, it was good bounce back here. But Benavidez, his 2 wins. Good win.
David Benavidez goes in there, fights former champion Caleb Plant. Gives Caleb Plant all the concessions that he wanted. Caleb Plant operated like he was the A side. David Benavidez gave him the ring size, gave him everything he wanted. Even had Caleb Plant coming out last in the ring walk. Huh?
Served that though.
Yeah, I ain't knocking it, but David gave it to him. He didn't try to play, you know what I'm saying, A side, B side. He just said, yo, all right, I want the fight. Let's do it.
Wants to fight, so he's gonna give him whatever you want to get him in the ring to make that fight. Went in there. Fight was very, very competitive. Looked good in the later part of the fight against Caleb Plant, but in the first half of the fight, remember even Smizzy even said to me, yo, let's bet. For the first 6 rounds that he saw Caleb Plant, he wanted to bet. He said Caleb Plant gonna beat this dude. I said, all right, no problem, let's bet. And then promptly after the 6th round, it went the opposite way. Then he goes and fights Demetrius Andrade after that and dominates a 2-division world champion that nobody wanted to fight. And I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear people say, oh, Demetrius Andrade ain't shit, because guess what? When Canelo Alvarez could have been undisputed at middleweight, he had 1 belt to get. He ain't want that belt. Definitely left that belt alone. Yeah, you know, I don't need that. I don't need undisputed at 160. You know what I mean? Definitely didn't want the undisputed at 168 when David Benavidez was holding that WBC. As soon as he lost that belt on the scale, he was all for it. Let's keep it real. These are the 2 guys that Canelo did not want to fight, and they fought each other. And one man was dominant. Fighter of the Year contender. And now we go to Devin the Dream Haney. That one's all yours, brother. Come on, man. Good dream. Devin Haney. Masterclass performance versus the man Regis. Masterclass performance. Beat the brakes off the champion. I mean, a lot of people felt like Regis beat Josh Taylor. So where people felt like Teofimo, where we felt like I did Teofimo runner-up performance of the year. for Josh Taylor, but some people felt like he just beat Josh Taylor. And Devin Nash smashed Regis program, you know? So he got that one. Then he was also in my winner, a fight of the year against Lomachenko. You know? Great fight.
Slam dunk for you.
Slam dunk for me, man. The dude just didn't work, man. Only current fighter who fought in the last 6 fights, all current or former champions. Like, he's just been on a tear, man. He's just been really solidifying himself as one of the best fighters in the world, man. Is he the best fighter in the world yet? No. Is he working towards it? Yes. You know? So, he's the youngest boss in the game, man. 25 years old. I don't know if there's another fighter at 25 with as many accolades as Devin Haney got. Undisputed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 2 division champion. On the 6, either current or former world champion. Opponent streak. He's only gonna keep it going. If he fights Ryan on his next fight, though, that streak gonna break. But, you know, like I was telling my man yesterday, he deserves a soft touch, and Ryan is no soft touch. But that just tells you the level that Devin Haney is ascending to, where he can fight a fighter like Ronnie Garcia and it be considered a soft touch. You know? Like, I just think that's what he's at with.
So give it to me. Fight of the year for you. Los. Crowning who? Fight of the year.
Devin the Dream Haney.
And who would have been your second runner-up?
Gotta be Bud. Even though just one fight, but that one fight was so masterful. You know? He could arguably win fight of the year. Fight of the year. Performance of the year. You know? Bud could easily be the Triple Crown winner. And nobody would say nothing about it. Because that performance he did with Earl Spence, like I said before, that did, if he retired today, that gonna put him with a Mount Rushmore boxer, that welterweight division.
I gotta go with David Benavidez, fighter of the year, man.
I don't know if I ever seen a fighter that struck another top fighter like that.
Yeah.
Like did Earl. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I know I've never seen it.
No, we've seen it.
Ooh.
Lewis versus Tyson.
Tyson
Lewis versus
Tyson wasn't in his
Holyfield.
prime like that. Holyfield wasn't in his prime like that.
Yeah, they were. Lewis versus Holyfield, Lewis versus Tyson.
Yeah, but those dudes, they weren't undefeated.
Andre Ward versus Chad Dawson. Devastating. One-sided.
And Dawson was nowhere near the level of Earl Spence.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, definitely the first 2 options I gave you was definitely an example of that. There's plenty more. There's plenty more, but
yeah, there was great.
This was definitely one of the most built-up fights.
But look how long ago those fights were. You know what I mean? Talking about 20 plus years. 20 plus. We was in high school when those fights happened.
You just have to really sit down and think about it.
We were in high school when those fights happened. Yeah, man.
My fight of the year, David Benavidez, man. Dismantled former champion Caleb Plant, who was looking really, really good against Canelo until he started looking, trying to get flowers and admiring his work.
Definitely.
And the way he did Andre, man, the way he did Andre was similar to how what Crawford did to Spence. And I'm not saying Andre was a Spence, but he's better than Spence because he's bigger than Spence, and he would probably beat Spence if he fought Spence. He has just as good as he has just as good of amateur background as Spence.
Yeah, but Spence was a unified 3-belt champion, man.
You know what's it called? Antoine Smith, the former boxer. You know, he grew up with these dudes, man, with Andre and shit. And he said when Andre came on the scene, son, the shit was a whole different game because he said, yo, Danny Jacobs at the time was that nigga. Danny Jacobs was running through everybody. Championship after championship after championship. And then when Boo Boo came on the scene, everything shifted. Boo Boo's that dude, man.
What is that dude?
And I'm giving Benavidez the credit for that shit, bro. I got Benavidez Fighter of the Year. Terrence Crawford is my runner-up. And that's that.
Hey,
We
man.
did it, y'all. We have closed out the year of 2023. All these amazing fights that we've seen throughout the year. Like and subscribe, y'all.
Hit the like button. Share, man. Let's share. Let's grow this channel, man. We out here giving you guys that good work, man. Share the channel.
Donations on the bottom if you feel free, willing.
Tell a friend. Tell a friend. One of the best new boxing podcasts, man,
Yes, sir.
in the market, bro. Let's go. Show love, man. We're going to keep giving you guys this good content. Let's go, man. Let's hope this 2024 is as good as 2023. Even better, man.
We're going to keep running it up and up and up and up. And I hope y'all will run it up with us. Eminent Sports Broadcasting, we closing this shit out, y'all. Have a good night. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.